The young man was born with the supreme furnace Cauldron's sacred body to avoid being captured and drained dry by female cultivators. He found a powerful Dao Companion. He had her help block those with ill intentions toward him. But Liu Ryan suddenly lost all her cultivation. From a heaven-blessed genius, she became a cripple. At that moment, you awakened the Darkening System. As long as you came into contact with women around you, Liu Ryan would gain darkening points, and you could exchange them for various rewards. The system also informed you that Liu Ryan lost her cultivation because her Dao body had completed its formation. It needed to absorb enough energy before awakening. From then on, you began borrowing money from women around you, while intentionally or unintentionally hinting at things, but unexpectedly, they all seemed to have feelings for you. At this moment, the senior sister you borrowed money from came looking for you. Northern Ridge Wetlands. You should return the spirit stones you borrowed from me, right? Senior sister already gave you a 3-month extension. That's already showing enough consideration for our sect ties. Senior sister Ling Xiao. Ryan's injuries still haven't healed. I've been short on funds lately. Could you give me another 10 days? I know you have your difficulties, but senior sister recently found a suitable magical treasure. Now is exactly when I need money. If junior brother truly can't afford it, senior sister has recently encountered a cultivation bottleneck. If you dual cultivate with me once, your debt can be cleared. After Ling Xiao spoke, the corners of her lips curled upward slightly. Her gaze became naked and direct. Senior sister, what do you mean by that? You subconsciously stepped back, but Ling Xiao followed after you. Soon, she cornered you. Liu Ryan is already crippled. You exhausted all your savings to save her, and even ended up buried in debt. Even if you leave her now, there's no need to feel guilty. Why not just stay with senior sister from now on? Seeing the situation, you hurriedly took out a storage pouch and threw it toward Ling Xiao. Senior sister, I still have 1,000 spirit stones here. Please take them for now as an emergency measure. I guarantee I'll repay the rest within 3 days. After speaking, you fled the room, as if escaping for your life. Ling Xiao watched your retreating figure without chasing after you. Only the possessiveness in her eyes grew even stronger in the Northern Ridge Wetlands. Sooner or later, you will be mine, just as you stepped out of the room. The system's voice arrived right on cue. Ding! Due to ambiguous interactions with Dao Companion, darkening points increased by 300. Reward: 1 4th grade communication pill. After claiming the reward, you looked at Liu Ryan's information on the system panel. A headache immediately came over you. Dao Companion, Liu Ryan. Darkening value, 300. Cultivation realm, early key refinement. Formerly, late foundation establishment, awakening progress, 31%. This was after you had already spent all your savings, and even borrowed money everywhere just to fill 1/3 of it. You did this not only because of your feelings for each other, but also because the system only required a bit of darkening value to synchronize your Dao Companion's cultivation realm and physique with your own. But by living this way on the edge of danger, one careless mistake could cost you your chastity. Suddenly, a pair of small hands covered your eyes. Guess who I am? Junior Sister Liu, when did you arrive? Just now. I saw Senior Bro's bag and immediately ran over. The young girl lowered her hands, then skipped cheerfully to your front. By the way, Senior Brother, why were you coming out of eldest Senior Sister's room? The girl speaking was named Liu Mengyao. She had entered the sect a few years after you. Her talent in alchemy could only be described as monstrous. Earlier, in order to heal Ryan, I borrowed some spirit stones from Senior Sister. Now it's time to repay them. Embarrassed to reveal your predicament before your junior sister, you awkwardly scratched your head. I see. Then how much do you owe her, Senior Brother? 3,000 spirit stones. I just repaid 1,000. Oh, it's only that little. Hearing this, Liu Mengyao sighed in relief. Then she took out a porcelain bottle and handed it to you. Here. Senior Brother, this is a 3rd grade pill I refined. Selling it will be more than enough to help you repay the debt. Don't go borrowing money from Yandere Senior Sister anymore. If you have any difficulties, just tell Mengyao. Then I'll thank Junior Sister in advance. After hesitating briefly, he reached out to take the medicine bottle. But she suddenly withdrew her hand. A trace of slyness flashed through her eyes. Wait. Senior brother, don't be in such a hurry. I still have one condition. What condition? You suddenly had a bad feeling. Could it be that she also had feelings for you? In a few days, the mortal world will hold a lantern festival. I want senior brother to go stroll around with me. If you agree, I'll give you the pill for free. Agreeing to go on a solo date with Junior Sister. Increase Dao Companion Darkening points by 500. Reward a random low-grade Ninki pill. If it's just visiting the Lantern Festival, then senior brother agrees. You had no choice. For the system rewards and the pill before your eyes, you could only agree. Then it's settled. Hearing this, Mengyao handed the pill to you. Her eyes curved into narrow crescents from smiling. You accepted it and stored away the pill. Senior brother still has to go back and take care of Ryan. So I'll leave first. After speaking, you turned and left. As Mengyao watched your departing figure, her once clear eyes suddenly became hollow. Senior brother of Northern Ridge, Ryan doesn't deserve you. I am your best destination. On the way back, you examined the green gourd in your hand. The corners of your lips rose slightly. The reward just now was a support-type spiritual artifact. Selling it for 5,000 wouldn't be a problem at all. Not long after, you returned home. Looking at the woman seated on the bed, you took out the communication pill, rewarded by the system, and held it to her lips. Ryan, take this pill. Stop wasting things on me. It's completely pointless. Keep it for yourself. Ryan stubbornly turned her head away. Her lips remained tightly shut. Stop being stubborn. Who said this is a waste? I've already discovered the reason your cultivation declined. You had long expected her reaction, so you had already prepared a response in advance. What is it? Hearing that it concerned her vanished cultivation, Ryan anxiously opened her mouth and asked. Meanwhile, you held that communication pill and gently waved it before her eyes. Take the pill first, then I'll tell you. Hearing this, Ryan opened her mouth and swallowed the pill in one gulp. Her teeth accidentally bit your finger. Then her delicate brows lifted slightly, and she let out a somewhat helpless sigh. Because, as soon as the medicinal power transformed into spiritual energy inside her body, it was devoured by the forbidden technique. Alright, now can you tell me? Ryan, fortunately, amidst the misfortune, your cultivation regression is caused by the awakening of a Dao body. Unlike an innate Dao body, the awakening of an acquired Dao body requires several times more resources than the former. And the awakening process is irreversible. But once the awakening is complete, you will directly possess a fully matured Dao body. From then on, your cultivation path will be smooth sailing. As you spoke, you took out the bottle of pills Mengyao had given you. So be obedient. Taking these pills is not a waste. I'm still counting on you to become my supporter in the future. Wait, where did you get the money for all these pills? Didn't we already spend all our savings long ago? Ding, intentionally speaking vaguely about the pill's origin caused your Dao Companion to grow suspicious. Darkening points increased by 500. Reward, 1 profound rank, He grade, talisman. Senior Sister came asking me for repayment today. I was already at a dead end. I truly had no other choice but to go to her. Unexpectedly, she said that as long as I agreed to one condition, she would give me this bottle of pills for free. While speaking, you deliberately acted somewhat hesitant. Your gaze subconsciously avoided Ryan's eyes. You've already borrowed from every friend you could, haven't you? Who would give you so many pills for free? Together, they're worth nearly 10,000 spirit stones. What exactly did she ask you to do? Your explanation just now worked exactly as expected on Liu Ryan. She suspected that you had sold your body for the pills. Darkening points increased by 500. Reward: 1 profound rank, He-grade, golden sword talisman. Seeing the task completed, you hurriedly explained, Ryan, don't misunderstand. That person is my junior sister. You know her too. Her alchemy skills are already masterful. These pills are nothing to her. The thing she asked me to agree to was only accompanying her to stroll around a temple fair in the mortal world. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but your physique is rather special. Back then, I was protecting you, so those women didn't dare swarm around you. But now, Liu Ryan's slender hands gradually clenched tightly. Your Dao Companion worried you would be humiliated, and hated her own helplessness. Darkening points increased by 200. Don't overthink things. What could possibly happen to me? Just focus on awakening your Dao body. I'll think of a way to handle the resources. You raised your hand and stroked her soft hair, gently comforting her, even though leaving Liu Ryan alone with her wild thoughts right now could earn you quite a lot of darkening points. You didn't want her to suffer too much. Besides, judging from earlier experiences, as long as you yourself were harassed, you could still gain darkening points, just a little less. Suddenly, a voice transmission arrived. Linbei, come to your master's cave dwelling. There are some matters I need to discuss with you. Because the two of you were standing so close. Liu Ryan heard it as well. I'll go with you. A trace of uneasiness filled her voice. For some reason, she didn't seem to trust Master very much. I'll go by myself. Master summoned me. Maybe it's to discuss whether to strip you of your status as a true disciple. Without your monthly resource allocation, our future days will become even harder. You sighed softly after placing the pill bottle into Liu Ryan's arms. You directly walked outside. Half a quarter hour later, you arrived at your master's cave dwelling. There sat a woman wearing a crimson robe, cross-legged upon a meditation cushion. A powerful pressure radiated from her entire body. She was your master, Fan Qianyu, the great cultivator of the Dao Sect's artifact peak. Master, you suddenly summoned me here. May I ask what it is about? It concerns Ryan. According to Sect rules, with her current condition, she should have been stripped of her true disciple status months ago. But for the sake of you two, I forcefully delayed it for several months. However, this matter cannot be dragged out forever. Disciple sincerely begs Master to grant a little more time. Ryan will definitely recover her cultivation. There's no need for you to be so nervous. I only called you here to discuss it first. No final decision has been made yet. Then her tone suddenly shifted. Linbei, you finally achieved some success in cultivation over these years, and managed to save some wealth. Yet in just a few months, you spent it all on Ryan. Was it really worth it? In Master's eyes, you've already done everything you could for her. Sometimes, letting go is also a choice. Both her words and underlying meaning were urging you to separate from Liu Ryan, because you were personally brought into the sect by her, and she had planned to cultivate you into her own Dao Companion. After years of careful grooming, whether in appearance or temperament, you perfectly matched her preferences. But just as the fruit ripened for her to pick, someone else ended up snatching it away halfway through. And that person was her most valued disciple, Liu Ryan, whom she had designated as the next peak master. This disciple believes in Ryan. As long as she endures this trial, she will soar like a dragon, leaping through the gate. So I earnestly asked Master to delay it a little longer. You looked at Fan Qianyu pleadingly, but she only snorted coldly. You truly are infatuated, but have you considered the pressure your master is under? The sect will soon hold an internal grand competition. The rankings achieved by the disciples under each peak master will determine the resource allocation for each peak over the next 10 years. If her status as a true disciple is retained, it won't merely be a matter of monthly resources, but will also affect the greater competition later on. Hearing this, you didn't know how to respond. If you continued insisting, it would indeed seem a bit too selfish, hinting to Master that, in order to preserve the position of Dao Companion and Peak Disciple, you were even willing to sell your body. Reward: mid-grade spirit type, King Yun Sword Art. Darkening points increased by 500. Looking at the system notification, the corner of your eye twitched. After pondering for a moment, you spoke. This disciple knows his request is somewhat excessive, but as long as Ryan's position can be preserved, I am willing to do anything for Master. Anything? What exactly do you mean by that? Feng Qianyu walked over to you. Her narrow eyes slowly narrowed further, a trace of burning desire surfacing within them. As long as it is within this disciple's abilities, even climbing mountains of blades or crossing seas of fire would not make me hesitate. After all these years of Master tirelessly nurturing me, it is finally time for me to repay your kindness in raising me. Once the system task was completed, you immediately dropped to both knees, looking passionate and righteous. You tried your best not to let Master think otherwise. When Feng Qianyu heard the words, kindness in raising me, the burning desire in her eyes instantly cooled. Lin Bei, your Master won't make things difficult for you, as long as you can complete the monthly Sect missions that Ryan is supposed to do as a true disciple. Then before the grand competition, her true disciple status will remain preserved. I called you here precisely for this matter. If you have nothing else to say, you may leave now. Then this disciple shall take his leave first. After hearing your Master's words, your heart immediately sank. The Sect missions assigned to true disciples were never easy to deal with. For Liu Ryan, who was originally at the nascent Soul Realm, they might not have been difficult. But for yourself, only at the Golden Core Realm, they were practically impossible. You could only pray that the assigned mission would not be too difficult. Little did you know that Fang Qianyu had already arranged everything in secret. Very soon, you would realize that those missions were never something you could complete alone. Without Ryan, you too would lose your last remaining support. Lin Bei, when you come begging your Master again, you will no longer belong to her. Fang Qianyu muttered softly to herself. Golden light flickered within her eyes. Clearly, she had long made her plans. Ryan, don't blame your Master. Of course, I can tell the reason your cultivation regressed, but you should never have competed with me for him. If you hadn't interfered halfway, he and I would already be together, helping my Dao cultivation advance even further, and your Master would have long since poured resources into fully awakening your Dao body as well. After leaving the cave dwelling, you arrived at the Sect's main hall. Elder Feng Cheng, I'm here to receive Ryan's Sect mission for this month. Oh, Lin Bei, you're planning to complete Ryan's mission alone? As he spoke, he took out a jade slip from his robes and handed it over to you. There's no other way. If I don't do this, her position won't be preserved. You smiled bitterly. Then you opened the jade slip to inspect its contents. Eliminate the great demon appearing near Blackwater Town in the deserted sands. After confirming the mission, you directly cried out in shock. Killing a great demon of the same cultivation level, even for a true disciple at the nascent soul realm. A slight mistake could result in severe injury. Not to mention that you were only at the Golden Core realm. Elder Feng Cheng. Demonic beasts possess powerful physical and innate divine abilities. They can fight 3 cultivators of the same level at once. Isn't this supposed to be a large-scale group expedition mission? Could there be some mistake? There's no mistake. This is indeed an individually assigned mission. The old man gently shook his head. The way he looked at you carried a trace of pity. With the Sect deliberately arranging things this way, this pair of lovers truly had a bitter fate. Although you had your suspicions, you had no idea who was targeting you. Thus, unwilling yet helpless, you turned and left with the jade slip. After all, The result could not be changed. You could only find someone to help complete the mission with you. Multiple choice mission released. Seek help from the senior sister who has long coveted you. Ask her to accompany you in slaying the great demon. Dao Companion darkening points increased by 1000. Randomly comprehend one sword technique mastered by the target. Seek help from the junior sister who holds great affection for you. Ask her for pills and talismans. Then head alone to slay the great demon. Dao Companion darkening points increased by 600. Randomly comprehend one pill formula mastered by the target. Seek help from the master who deeply cares for you. Request that she use her authority as peak master to directly replace the assigned mission. Dao Companion darkening points increased by 2000. Randomly comprehend one divine ability mastered by the target. The rewards for these 3 options differed, and so did the amount of darkening points gained. Judging from previous missions, the more extreme the NTR level became, the more darkening points and better rewards you received. But the risk of losing your chastity also rose sharply. Junior sister Lu Mengyao's cultivation realm was relatively low, even if she had improper thoughts. You could still protect yourself. It would be difficult for anything to actually happen. Therefore, the darkening points gained were the least. At the same time, the mission difficulty was the greatest. As for senior sister Ling Xiao, her cultivation was an entire major realm above yours. If she truly wanted to force herself on you, you would have absolutely no room to resist. Thus, the darkening points gained were nearly doubled, and the mission difficulty dropped considerably. But what about Master? Could it be that she also has feelings for you? Recalling the memories related to your master in your mind, every time you broke through a cultivation realm, she would personally protect you. She even exhausted her own spiritual power to help loosen your bottlenecks. Whenever fellow disciples bullied you, she would disregard her dignity as peak master and personally demand justice for you. Whenever you were emotionally down, she would patiently comfort you to prevent inner demons from forming in your heart. After carefully analyzing everything, you could only go find her. At that moment, on the Sect's martial platform, Ling Xiao had just finished an event. When she saw you standing not far away, you actually came to find me on your own initiative. You really delivered yourself right to my door. Ling Xiao licked her lips. A burning look surged within her eyes. Junior brother, where are you heading? I came specifically to find you, senior sister. After hesitating briefly, you slowly spoke to her. A trace of restraint showed on your face. Hearing this, the corners of Ling Xiao's lips could not stop rising. Junior brother especially came to see me. Junior brother, you must have come to me for something important, right? Earlier, she had been too impatient. Just because she had lent you a few thousand spirit stones, she directly exposed her true feelings. As a result, you fled in panic. She had been worrying about how to create another opportunity to get close to you. Yet, unexpectedly, you delivered yourself right to her door. Senior sister, here's the situation. Because Ryan's cultivation has regressed, her status as a true disciple is in danger. After I pleaded with Master, he agreed that as long as Ryan's sect mission is completed, she can keep her true disciple status until the grand competition. Her disciple status and monthly stipend will still remain. So, junior brother, you came to me because you want me to help you complete the mission assigned to her by the sect. Ling Xiao was not surprised at all. After all, this was exactly what she liked about you. Besides, junior brother, you're at least at the golden core stage. You also have a good reputation in the sect. If you casually gathered a few fellow disciples, even a true disciple's mission should be manageable. For some reason though, the mission assigned this month is to go to Blackwater Town and slay the rampaging great demon beast. And it was assigned individually. No fellow disciples would risk their lives for this, so I could only seek help from a high-ranked true disciple. And among them, you're the only one I know, senior sister. Of course, I won't let you make the trip for nothing. I still have a mid-grade spirit weapon here. As you spoke, you took out the Kingming sword from your storage artifact and prepared to hand it to her. Junior brother, there's no need. Ling Xiao shook her head and pushed the sword back with her hand. Senior sister, don't worry. The spirit stones I owe you are separate from this. Once Ryan's stipend is distributed this month, I'll definitely repay you immediately. You thought she was unwilling to agree, so you hurriedly clarified that the spirit weapon was simply payment for her help and unrelated to the previous debt. Junior brother, you misunderstood me. I'll help you with this mission, but I don't need any payment. You don't need to repay the spirit stones you borrowed either. Earlier, I was too reckless. I said things I shouldn't have said to you. Please just forget about them. Let's go back to how things used to be. Ling Xiao concealed the desire in her eyes and smiled at you as if nothing had happened. Really? You were a little surprised. You never expected Ling Xiao to go this far. Yet you couldn't understand the reason behind her sudden change. Why would I lie to you? Right now, I still need to train my swordsmanship to maintain this year's chief disciple title. So I won't keep talking with you. When it's time to carry out the mission, just use the communication talisman to contact me. After saying that, Ling Xiao turned around and left. No rush. Take it slowly. Hunting requires patience. I'll make you fall for me, step by step. Watching Ling Xiao walk farther away, you finally let out a sigh of relief. This hurdle had finally passed. A true disciple's monthly stipend was 3,000 spirit stones, plus a bottle of third-grade Peiyuan pills. If all of that were gone, it would be an enormous loss for you. After returning to the wooden cabin, you looked at Leo Ryan sitting cross-legged on the bed cultivating, and pretended to be extremely excited. Then you took out the Kingyun sword and the water-absorbing spirit fluid you had just exchanged through the system. Ryan, the issue with your stipend has been resolved. Master agreed to help. Your stipend will remain until the grand competition. He even specially gave me some treasures in spirit medicine. I think we should just forget it. This Dao body awakening is basically a bottomless pit. I already consumed those restoration pills, yet there was no visible effect at all. Even after hearing the good news, there was no joy on Leo Ryan's face. Instead, she slightly frowned. Seeing this, you sat beside her and looked directly into those cold, clear eyes. Ruhian, we've already poured all our savings into this. If we give up now, everything we invested will be wasted. Can you really accept that? Because I definitely can't. And besides, the Leo Ryan who once fascinated me, the one who made me proud, I'm still waiting for her return. After hearing your words, Liu Ryan bit her lip tightly, her fists gradually clenching. How could she possibly accept it? Falling from a heaven-defying genius into an ordinary nobody, while watching the person she loved run around desperately every day, while she herself stayed home like a parasite. Seeing her like this, you gently stroked her cheek, leaned close to her ear, and softly persuaded her, Ryan, listen to me. If by the time of the Sect tournament, your condition still hasn't improved at all, then no matter what you want to do, I'll support your decision. But before that, can you listen to me first? Alright, Liu Ryan sighed softly and finally compromised, choosing to gamble one more time. My Dao Companion's cultivation suddenly regressed from being a peerless genius to a cripple. At that moment, I awakened the corruption system. As long as I came into contact with women around me, my Dao Companion's would continue to increase value, and I could use those corruption points to exchange for all kinds of items. Through the system, I learned that my Dao Companion lost her cultivation because she was awakening a Dao body. In order to gather enough resources, I intentionally started getting close to the women around me, but unexpectedly, all the women around me seemed a little strange. 3 months ago, I borrowed 3,000 spirit stones from Senior Sister Ling Xiao, and now she's come looking for me. Junior brother, it's time for you to repay. I already extended the deadline. That's already more than generous, right? Fellow disciples. Senior Sister Ling Xiao, you know my situation as well. Ningyin's injuries still haven't recovered, and recently, I truly haven't been able to make ends meet. Could you please give me a little more time? I looked at the cold woman before me, with a head full of white hair and dressed in Taoist robes, and spoke with difficulty. But recently, Senior Sister, happened to come across a suitable magical artifact. I also happen to need money right now. However, if Junior Brother is truly short on funds, Senior Sister can also accept other forms of repayment. I heard Junior Brother was born with extraordinary talent, and dual cultivation with you once can save several days of hard training. Senior Sister recently encountered a bottleneck and would also like to discuss cultivation with you. Suddenly, Ling Xiao looked at me, the corners of her lips slightly curling up, her gaze gradually becoming more naked and direct. Senior Sister, what do you mean by that? Hearing this, I subconsciously stepped back, but Ling Xiao kept advancing toward me step by step. Very soon, she cornered me. Junior Brother, Shine Ningyan, she's already ruined. You exhausted all your savings to save her, and even ended up buried in debt. Why not just follow Senior Sister from now on? The moment I heard that, I panicked. I hurriedly took out the last 1,000 spirit stones on me. Senior Sister, take these first 4 emergencies. I guarantee I'll repay the rest within 3 days. After tossing the storage pouch to Ling Xiao, I fled the room in a hurry. Ling Xiao watched me run away in embarrassment, but she didn't chase after me. The possessiveness in her eyes only grew stronger. Junior Brother, sooner or later, you'll be mine. Meanwhile, after escaping from the room, I let out a sigh of relief. Spending time alone ambiguously with Senior Sister. Dao Companions. Corruption value increased by 300. Reward, 1/4 grade. The sweat from my hill. I looked at the panel, displaying information related to my Dao Companion, and felt a headache coming on. Current Dao Companion corruption value. Dao body awakening progress, 31%. Even after draining Xia Ningyan's origin realm cultivation and pouring in all the savings. The two of us had only completed 1/3 of it. But as long as Shan Ningyan could awaken her Dao body, everything we did before would be worth it. Because, with the system, I only needed to spend these corruption points to directly synchronize with my Dao Companion's cultivation and physique. But my current situation was extremely dangerous. Because my physique was an unparalleled top-grade constitution. Any woman who dual cultivated with me would obtain enormous benefits. Previously, I had a powerful Dao Companion who always protected me from those with ill intentions. But now that my support had fallen, I could only take things one step at a time. Just as I was wondering what to do next, a pair of icy little hands suddenly covered my eyes from behind. Guess who I am? Hearing that familiar voice, I immediately recognized Junior Sister Liu Mengyao. So I asked, Junior Sister Liu, when did you arrive? After realizing she had been recognized, the girl let go of her hands and skipped cheerfully to stand in front of me. I just got here. When I saw Senior Brother's back, I hurried over immediately. Oh right, Senior Brother. Why were you coming out of Elder Senior Sister's room? I borrowed 3,000 spirit stones from Senior Sister earlier. It's time to repay the debt. I scratched my head awkwardly. The girl before me was dressed in green robes. Liu Mengyao. Although she had only entered the sect a few years ago, her talent in alchemy was considered monstrous. She also had close ties with a major power like the Jade Pool, Holy Land. So it was only this. I thought it was something serious. Liu Mengyao let out a sigh of relief. Then she took out a porcelain bottle from the bracelet on her wrist. Senior Brother, these are 3rd grade recovery origin pills that these are more than enough to help you repay your debt. And there'll still be plenty left over. In the future, don't borrow money from Elder Senior Sister. If you have any difficulties, just tell Mangyao. Then I'll thank you in advance, Junior Sister. After hesitating briefly, I reached out to take the medicine bottle. But at that moment, Liu Mengyao suddenly withdrew the bottle. A trace of slyness flashed through her eyes. Senior Brother, don't be so impatient. I still have one condition. Hearing that, I immediately had a bad feeling. Could it be that this little Junior Sister also had feelings for me? In a few days, there'll be a lantern festival in the mortal world. I want Senior Brother to go stroll around with me. If you agree, I'll give these pills to you for free. After Liu Mengyao finished speaking, the system notification sounded again. Accepting a private date with Junior Sister. Dao Companion corruption value plus 500. One random low-grade spirit artifact. As expected, exactly what I feared. But I had no choice. For the system rewards and the real pills right before me, I could only agree. After I agreed, Liu Mengyao handed the pills to me. Smiling so hard her eyes curved into crescents. Senior Brother, that is a promise. Senior Brother still has to take care of Ningyan, so I'll be leaving first. These pills of yours, I'll find a way to repay you in the future. I put away the porcelain bottle, rubbed her head, then turned and left. As she watched my departing figure, the clarity in Liu Mengao's eyes suddenly became hollow and empty. Senior Brother Xia Ningyan doesn't deserve to have you. I am your best destination. Very soon, I arrived before a simple wooden hut. After pushing open the somewhat shabby door, I walked inside, looking at the cold and aloof woman. Sitting cross-legged on the bed in meditation, I took out the Tongshuang pill I had just obtained and held it to her lips. Ningyan, you need to take this pill. Stop wasting it on me. It's completely useless. Keep it for yourself. Shan Ningyan turned her head aside, tightly shutting her mouth. That breathtakingly beautiful face of hers rarely showed such stubbornness. Stop throwing a tantrum. Who told you it was a waste? I've already found out the reason your cultivation has been declining. Knowing how she would react, I had already prepared a countermeasure. Upon hearing that it was related to her disappearing cultivation, Yanderes immediately stopped resisting. She instantly opened her mouth and asked what it was. I held the Tongshuan pill between 2 fingers and gently waved it before her eyes. Eat the pill first, then I'll tell you. After a brief hesitation, Yanderes decisively swallowed the pill in one gulp. You can tell me, right? Ningyan, the reason your cultivation regressed is because your Dao body is awakening. Dao body. The awakening of an acquired Dao body requires resources several times greater than the former, and the awakening process is irreversible. But once the awakening is complete, you will directly possess a fully matured Dao body. From then on, your path of cultivation will be smooth. As I spoke and unobstructed, I took out the bottle of pills Liu Mengyao had given me earlier. Be obedient. These pills won't be wasted on you. I'm still counting on you to continue being my support. After learning the truth behind her declining cultivation, there wasn't much joy on Yanderes' ethereal face. Instead, she questioned where the pills in my hand came from. Where did you get the money for these pills? Hadn't we already spent all our savings long ago? At that moment, the system panel appeared before me. Deliberately give a vague explanation about the source of the pills, causing your Dao Companion to grow suspicious. Blackening value, plus 500. Reward. 1 high-grade talisman. Looking at the system notification, I cursed inwardly. This thing is forcing me to play the role of a cuckold, But for the rewards and blackening points, I had no choice but Senior Sister came to collect my debt today, and I was already at the end of my rope. I truly had no other choice but to seek her out. Unexpectedly, she said that as long as I agreed to one condition, she would give me this bottle of pills for free. As I spoke, I deliberately acted, a little embarrassed, my gaze unconsciously avoiding Yanderes' eyes. Seeing the scene, Yanderes indeed became suspicious. She frowned slightly, and a trace of worry appeared on her face. Successfully made your Dao Companion suspect that you sold your body for the pills. Blackening value, plus 500. Reward, 1 high grade, Vajra protection talisman. Seeing that the task was completed, I hurriedly explained things to Yanderes. Ningyan, don't overthink it. The person I mentioned is actually my junior sister. You know her too. Her alchemy skills are superb. These pills are nothing to her. And the thing she wanted me to agree to was merely accompanying her to a festival in the mortal world. I spread my hands, looking completely innocent. But after hearing this, Yanderes gradually clenched her slender hands. Maybe I'm being overly sensitive, but your physique is special. I used to protect you, and now your Dao Companion worries you'll be humiliated by your powerlessness. Blackening value, plus 200. After hearing the system notification, I held her hand and comforted her. I'm a grown man. What could possibly happen? Just focus on awakening your Dao body. I'll figure out the rest myself. Even though leaving Yanderes alone with her thoughts right now could earn me quite a few blackening points, I didn't want my Dao Companion to suffer too much. Besides, judging from earlier events, as long as I was the one being harassed, I could still obtain blackening points anyway, just a little fewer. At that moment, a voice transmission suddenly entered my ears. Joanna, come to your master's cave residence at once. There are some matters I need to discuss with you. The owner of the voice transmission was my master. Since the two of us were standing close together, Yanderes heard it as well. I'll go with you. Yanderes frowned slightly. Unease evident in her voice. She didn't seem to trust their shared master very much. I'd better go alone. Master called me over, most likely to discuss whether to strip you of your status as a core disciple. If we lose your monthly resources as well, our days ahead will become even harder. After sighing softly, I placed the bottle containing the pills into Yanderes' arms before walking out of the wooden hut. Soon, I arrived at my master's cave residence. Deep inside the cave, a woman dressed in crimson robes sat elegantly upon a meditation cushion. A powerful pressure radiated from her body. This woman was my master Fan Qianyu, an elder of the Taoist sect, a great cultivator in the divine transformation realm. You suddenly summoned me here. May I ask for what reason? I first bowed respectfully, then asked Fan Qianyu, who was sitting before me with closed eyes. At this moment, Fan Qianyu slowly opened her eyes. This concerns Ningyan. According to sect rules, months ago, his status as a core disciple should already have been revoked. We can no longer delay this matter. Hearing this, I immediately knelt halfway and pleaded. Disciple begs master to grant another 10 days of grace. Ningyan will definitely recover his cultivation. You don't need to be so nervous. I only called you here to discuss it beforehand. No final decision has been made yet. Besides, you've sacrificed so much for Ningyan. Is it truly worth it? In my opinion, you've already done more than enough for him. The cultivation world has always been ruled by the strong, devouring the weak. Giving up is also a choice. Fan Qianyu parted her red lips slightly and spoke to me gently. Every word implied that she wanted me to separate from Yanderes. After all, when Fan Qianyu brought me back, she had intended to raise me as her own Dao Companion. The fruit was just about to ripen. Yet someone else ended up snatching the prize midway. This disciple firmly believes that as long as Ningyan survives this ordeal, he will soar like a fish leaping through the dragon gate. So I begged master to delay it a little longer. I looked earnestly at Fan Qianyu, but she merely snorted coldly in response. A trace of anger appeared on her face. You truly are deeply devoted. But have you considered the pressure your master is under? Recently, the sect has been preparing for internal competition. It will determine the distribution of resources among each peak for the next 10 years. If we continue to keep her status as a core disciple, it is no longer just a matter of anger. It also concerns the future competition rankings. Hearing this, I did not know how to respond. If I kept insisting, it would really be too willful of me. At that moment, the system interface appeared again with another master to preserve your Dao willingly offering your body. Reward: mid-grade spirit weapon, blackening value sword, plus 500. The corner of my eye twitched. After a moment of silence, I slowly spoke. As long as Senior Sister Ning's position can be preserved, I'm willing to do anything for Master. Anything? What exactly do you mean by that? Fan Qianyu suddenly stood up and slowly walked toward me. A trace of heat appeared in her eyes. Master has worked tirelessly to raise and teach me all these years. Now it's finally time for me to repay your kindness. Once the system mission was completed, I immediately knelt on both knees. I deliberately acted righteous and passionate, trying my best to prevent Master from misunderstanding. When she heard the words, repay your kindness, the heat in Fan Qianyu's eyes instantly faded. She turned around and sat back down on the meditation cushion. Lu Zhuan, I won't make things difficult for you. As long as you can complete Ning Yan's monthly sect mission. As a core disciple, her position will remain until the grand competition. Fan Qianyu's voice was no longer as gentle as before. Instead, it carried an unquestionable authority and dominance. All right. If there's nothing else you wish to say, you may leave. Then this disciple shall take his leave first. After hearing Master's words, my heart immediately sank. The sect missions assigned to core disciples were never easy to complete. For Shai and Ning, who used to be at nascent, it might not have been difficult. But for me, a mere 7th stage golden core cultivator, it was practically impossible. I could only pray that the sect would not assign anything too difficult. Little did I know it, Fan Qianyu had already secretly arranged everything. Those missions were impossible for me to complete alone. After leaving the cave dwelling, I sold off that low-grade spirit weapon from before. The money was just enough to repay Senior Sister Ling Xiao's debt. Afterward, I arrived at the sect hall and accepted Ning Yan's sect mission for this month. But the moment I unfolded the jade slip and saw the mission details, I was nearly dumbfounded. The mission was actually to slay a great demon beast near Blackwater Tian. One had to know that slaying a demon beast was already extremely challenging. Even for nascent soul core disciples, a single mistake could easily result in severe injury. Not to mention me, a mere golden core cultivator. Elder Fungi. Is there some mistake with this mission? I nearly broke down. How could I possibly complete a mission like this alone? A golden core cultivator fighting a great demon alone, basically seeking death. There's no mistake, this was specifically assigned to you. The old man gently shook his head. There was a trace of pity in the way he looked at me. Although I had my suspicions, I had no way of confirming who exactly was targeting me behind the scenes. After sighing, I could only take the jade slip and leave. Right now, the first thing I needed to consider was how to find someone to help me slay the great demon beast. If I went alone, it would undoubtedly be suicide. At that moment, the system notification sounded again. First multi-choice mission released. Please choose your target for assistance. Ask the senior sister who has long coveted Dao Companion, blackening value plus 1000. Randomly comprehend a martial technique. Ask the junior sister who holds deep affection for Dao Companion, for help. Blackening randomly comprehend a pill formula. Ask the master who dotes on you greatly for help, and request her to directly replace the assigned Dao Companion, blackening value randomly plus comprehend a divine ability mastered by the target. Looking at the choices given by the system, I instantly fell silent. At the moment, it seemed these were my only options, although asking master for help looked like the safest choice. And the rewards were also the best. Something still felt off to me. Why would the blackening value be so high? Could it be that master also had feelings recalling everything from the past? I began searching through my memories for everything related to Fan Qianyu. Only after carefully reviewing it all did I realize just how specially Fan Qianyu had treated me. After careful analysis, the best choice right now was to go find Ling Xiao. At that moment, at the martial arena, Ling Xiao saw me taking the initiative to come to her. The corners of her lips immediately curled up. Your brother came specifically to see me. I assumed there must be something important. Senior sister, here's the situation. Lost her cultivation. Her status as a core disciple is now in danger. But as long as her sect mission can still be completed, continue receiving the corresponding benefits. Before I could finish, Ling Xiao interrupted. So junior brother came to me. Because you want my help. To complete the mission assigned by the Sect. Ling Xiao forced a carefree smile. Hearing those words left me a little surprised. I never expected Ling Xiao to go this far. What exactly caused such a sudden change in him? Afterward, Ling Xiao told me to come find him again when it was time to carry out the mission. Then he turned around and left without the slightest hesitation. At the same time, he thought to himself that hunting required patience. Junior brother, I'll make you fall step by step. Watching Ling Xiao gradually walk away, I finally let out a sigh of relief. I felt fortunate for the moment. At least for now, this crisis seemed to have passed. After that, I didn't stay any longer either. I turned around and headed toward the residence Ningyan. After forcing a smile onto my face, I pushed open the wooden door and walked inside. Ningyan's anger had finally been resolved, and Master had even specially given me some magical treasures. Looking at Ningyan, who was still sitting cross-legged on the bed, cultivating, I took out the King Yu sword and a golden bottle. Even after hearing the good news, Ningyan still showed no joy. Instead, she frowned slightly, feeling no sign of progress whatsoever. She had already started giving up. I think we should just forget it. Awakening is basically a bottomless pit. I've already taken all those origin recovery, yet there's still no effect. Seeing her look so self-destructive and hopeless, I picked up that bottle of golden spirit cleansing liquid and waved it in front of her eyes. Where did the Xianing go? Who once fascinated me and made me proud. I'm still waiting for her to come back. After hearing my words, Xianyanyan's hands slowly clenched into fists. How could she not care? From being a heaven's favorite genius to suddenly falling into mediocrity. All she could do every day was watch the person she loved running around while she herself stayed home like a parasite. Thinking of this, she let out a sigh and chose to gamble once more. Very quickly, I prepared a barrel of hot water for her and poured the spirit cleansing liquid into it. After a period of cleansing, the awakening progress of Xianing had finally reached 36%. Suddenly, she cried out in surprise, "Hurry up and come look at this." Hearing that, I quickly walked over. I saw that inside the wooden tub she was soaking in, the steaming hot water had actually frozen into solid ice. Xianing instinctively stretched out a finger and lightly tapped the ice. The ice instantly turned back into liquid water. Seeing this, she fell into deep thought. At this moment, she no longer doubted the existence of Dao body awakening. Instead, she began wondering what kind of Dao body she had awakened. Seeing Xianingyan's mood no longer so depressed, I smiled in relief as well. But in a few days, I would be heading out on a mission. Given Xianyanyan's current condition, I still wasn't comfortable leaving her here alone. So I planned to let her stay at Master's cave dwelling for a while first. Although I knew Master harbored some special feelings toward me, she was still one of the people I trusted most. Besides, she had always treated Xianingyan as a successor to nurture. Even if she wouldn't help, at the very least she wouldn't intend any harm. I told Xianingyan about my plan, and she reluctantly nodded in agreement. Soon, we arrived at Fan Qianyu's cave dwelling, but what I didn't expect was that, after Fan Qianyu saw Xianingyan, a faint blood-red gleam flashed across her eyes. As expected, nothing can be hidden from Master. This disciple truly does think that way. I asked Master for permission. Lu Zhuan lowered his body slightly and spoke respectfully to her. The Sect mission assigned to you. Are you sure you can complete it? After receiving his confident reply, Fan Qianyu raised her brows in surprise. She hadn't expected Lu Zhuan to be the type who wouldn't give up until he hit a wall. That kind of mission, for him to carry it out alone, was no different from seeking death. No, this kid's personality isn't that reckless. He wouldn't willingly throw his life away. After thinking to herself, Fan Qianyu carefully examined Lu Zhuan in front of her. Her red lips parted slightly, as she slowly asked, "Did you find helpers?" "Yes. This disciple found suitable companions. With them accompanying me, there shouldn't be any danger." "Who exactly are these helpers you found? At a time like this, who would still help you complete such a mission? They probably aren't ordinary friends, are they?" Fan Qianyu raised a brow, looking at Lu Zhuan in surprise. Anyone capable of joining him to slay a great demon couldn't possibly be just an ordinary Golden Core disciple. To deal with a demon beast at that level, it would take at least 10 Golden Core cultivators working together. Even then, there would still be a risk of injury. Being mere fellow disciples wasn't enough reason for someone to take such a huge risk. But among the true disciples of the various peaks, which one did her disciple even know? And even if he did know them, how did he manage to invite them? He should already be completely broke by now. Could it be? He's just an old friend of mine. He owed me a favor from years ago, so he agreed to help me this time. Lu Zhuan glanced at Xianingyan beside him. He casually made up an excuse, trying to brush the matter off. "Which peak is this friend of yours from?" Fan Qianyu narrowed her eyes and continued questioning him. For a true disciple of one of the peaks to take on such a mission without regard for reward or danger, what kind of favor could possibly make them do that? Past experience told her that things weren't so simple. Lu Zhuan might not have money, but perhaps he had used something else to pay the price. For example, his body. Thinking thus, a trace of cold light flashed through Feng Qianyu's eyes. If that really was the case, she absolutely would not spare the other party. Anyone who dared touch what belonged to her would have to pay the price, no matter who they were. He's from Palmio Peak. Is there a problem? After noticing something unusual about his master, Lu Zhuan could not help but feel somewhat puzzled in confusion. He did not possess mind-reading abilities, so he had no idea about Feng Qianyu's complicated inner thoughts. It's nothing. I was just casually asking. The human heart is hard to predict. Be careful during this mission. If you can't complete it, then forget it. No matter what happens, your master will support you. Don't force yourself. After coming back to her senses, Feng Qianyu worried that Lu Zhuan, in order to complete the mission, might even sell his own body, so she could only make it clear that she would step in to help at the critical moment. Thank you for your concern, Master. That person should be trustworthy. I only ask that Master allow Ningyan to stay in your cave dwelling. With my worries removed, this disciple can complete the mission with peace of mind. Since you've already said this much, if I still refuse, I'd be wasting your sincere feelings. Master can agree to it, but on one condition. Looking at Lu Zhuan pleading on Shanyan's behalf, Feng Qianyu suddenly felt a burst of gloom and pain in her chest. The disciple who should have become her Dao Companion was now, at this very moment, begging her for another woman's sake. That feeling drove her nearly mad. In her heart, destructive and ruinous urges kept surging upward uncontrollably. But in the end, relying on her powerful state of mind, she forcefully suppressed them all. Before you depart, I want to personally examine that companion of yours. Otherwise, I won't feel at ease letting you stay alone with him. That's naturally not a problem. After hesitating for a moment, Lu Zhuan agreed. To him, this wasn't a bad thing at all. It would be perfect for a master to warn Ling Xiao a little, so that when the time came, the other party wouldn't lose control during the mission, and start touching him inappropriately. Ah, Zhuan, since Master has agreed to let me stay here, if there's nothing else, you should head out first. Master and I haven't seen each other in a long time, so it's a good chance for the two of us to catch up privately. Suddenly, Shan Yan placed a hand on Lu Zhuan's shoulder. Smiling softly, she spoke gently, deliberately using an especially intimate form of address, turning his head to look at the two of them. Lu Zhuan clearly felt that the atmosphere had suddenly become heavy. After realizing the feelings his master had always held toward him, he finally understood why this once deeply affectionate master-disciple pair had suddenly become so distant. And all of it was because of him. Schwanner, you should go. Ningyan and I should also catch up a little and have a heart-to-heart talk when you're ready to depart. Remember to notify Master through the communication jade slip. As soon as the words fell, Feng Qianyu waved her sleeve. A gentle breeze swept past and directly sent Lu Zhuan outside the door. Then with a bang, the cave dwelling's stone gate shut automatically. Nothing bad should happen, right? Looking at the tightly shut door, Lu Zhuan slowly let out a breath. Thinking back on the memories between the master and disciple, he felt that no matter what, things shouldn't become too ugly. Besides, both of them had looked calm just now, without any obvious emotions. While Lu Zhuan was lost in wild thoughts by himself, inside the cave, dwelling on the other side, Shaya Ningyan looked at Feng Qianyu before her, then suddenly bent forward, cupping her fists respectfully with both hands. Thank you, Master, for still taking in this unfilial disciple. HMPH, so you still know you're an unfilial disciple. Feng Qianyu let out a cold laugh and looked at her meaningfully. A portion of her pressure spread outward, bringing down a heavy oppressive force. I gave you cultivation techniques. I gave you resources, and raised you from the early foundation establishment stage to the nascent. When have I ever treated you unfairly? I even intended to pass on the position of next palace master to you. I raised you for so many years, yet how did you repay me? Love between a man and a woman is not something this disciple can control. Back then, he risked his life to save me. From that moment on, I already knew that in this lifetime, even though Feng Qianyu's pressure made her face turn pale, Xian Ningyan still remained neither servile nor overbearing. She forced herself to stand straight while maintaining the respectful cupped fist posture. Without my careful guidance, do you think he could have become this outstanding? It's not just you who has feelings for him. Among the Sect's female elders, which one of them isn't eyeing him covetously? But with me protecting him, none of them dare to make a move. I guarded against it for so long, taking every possible precaution, yet I never expected that a thief from within would be the hardest to guard against. In the end, the disciple I valued most stole him away from me. After hearing her response, Fan Qianyu raised her red lips with an amused smile. She spoke with faint mockery, though it was unclear whether she was mocking the rebellious Xia Ningyan or mocking herself for having her home stolen. Now that things have come to this, all this disciple can do is apologize. But even if you are master, I will not back down. At this moment, under Fan Qianyu's continuously intensifying pressure, Xia Ninyun's weakened body was about to reach its limit. Just as she was on the verge of collapse, a burst of icy energy suddenly erupted from within her body. The surrounding temperature instantly dropped, forming a barrier that blocked the oppressive pressure for her. Oh, I never expected that the Dao body you awakened would be the tie-in Dao body. Even among all constitutions, this one ranks within the top 10. Fan Qianyu raised her brows in surprise. Her disciple's talent was even greater than she had imagined. If properly nurtured, her future achievements would be immeasurable. Even the great Ascension realm would merely be her lower limit. Master, you knew about my Dao body awakening? Shanyang was even more shocked. She had never expected that her master could see through her condition at a single glance. That's right, I knew from the very beginning. Your cultivation regressed because your Dao body was awakening, and with the resources I possess, I could have helped you overcome this hardship at any time. But I deliberately chose to watch you suffer. Fan Qianyu lifted her chin, looking down arrogantly at Xia Ningyan before her. A faint bloody gleam appeared in her eyes. Anyone who dares touch what belongs to me must pay the price. If you had never touched him, I would have already poured resources into you, helping your Dao body reach perfection. After that, you would have stolen the spotlight in every peak competition. Shining brilliantly. You would have defeated Ling Xiao in one stroke and become the new chief disciple. It's a pity that now, all of that has nothing to do with you anymore. As she spoke, Fan Qianyu carefully observed the changes in Shan Yingyan's expression. When she saw a rare trace of shock appear on that cold and proud face, she curled her lips upward. A flickering light danced within her soul-stirring eyes. However, your master still values the bond between us as master and disciple. Suddenly changing her tone, Fan Qianyu withdrew her oppressive pressure. Her voice became gentle. She walked over to Xia Ningyan, leaned down, and said, "As long as you promise me that you will completely leave him from now on, Master can still provide the resources to awaken your Dao body. You will still be my proudest disciple, the candidate for the next peak master. You will win first place in the upcoming competition, becoming the new chief disciple, and obtain the glory you deserve." Facing the naked temptation before her, Xia Ningyan did not doubt its authenticity. She understood Fan Qianyu's character and knew that every word she said was true. As long as she agreed, she truly could obtain everything promised as the price. The only thing she needed to lose was Lu Zhuan. Without hesitating for long, after a brief silence, Xia Ningyan met Fan Qianyu's slightly expectant gaze. Then she bowed again with clasped fists. "I'm sorry, master, but I cannot obey." "Humph, just as I expected. Though I never expected an unfilial disciple like you to hand him over so easily." Fan Qianyu did not become angry. She understood Xia Ningyan's personality and had long expected this outcome. "But, have you thought this through? The resources needed for Dao body awakening are enormous. Even if the two of you poured in all the wealth you've accumulated over the years, it would only be enough to let your Dao body achieve minor success, and relying on him alone, a mere golden core even decades of effort would still be a drop in the bucket. And your appearance will stop changing after this grand competition. How long do you think he can endure it? A few years? 10 years? Not to mention all those admirers surrounding him." To Fan Qianyu, Xia Ningyan refusing her condition, she would obtain Lu Zhuan a little later than expected. She had already waited for so many years, so she did not mind waiting a bit longer. Carrying around a burden like Xia Ningyan, no matter how deeply in love Lu Zhuan was, the pressure would accumulate day after day, and eventually he would still give up. And with her persuasion from the side, Lu Zhuan would sooner or later recognize reality, abandon that impractical Castle India kind of love, and turn to fall into her embrace instead. Fan Qianyu simply could not understand why the Lu Zhuan she had raised for so long would fall for Xia Ningyan from the outer sect, instead of appreciating how wonderful his master was. If it was because of appearance, then she was no worse compared to that penniless little girl. Wouldn't comfortably living off her support be far better? Before he gives up on me, I will never give up on him. And if that day truly comes, I won't blame him. I'll only blame myself for being useless. Xia Ningyan slowly raised her head, looking firmly at Fan Qianyu. Her gaze expressed her unwavering resolve. What a sharp tongue. You stole what belonged to me and still dared to twist the blame around. Now I'm the villain instead. Fan Qianyu snorted coldly after hearing this. With a wave of her sleeve, she moved Xia Ningyan to the corner of the cave dwelling. I already gave you a chance. Don't say I ignored our master-disciple bond. When the grand competition arrives, you will lose your status as a true disciple. From then on, I will no longer provide you with any assistance. Whether you can awaken your Dao body or not will depend entirely on your own fate. After hearing this, Xia Ningyan said nothing more. She merely closed her eyes silently and sat down cross-legged to meditate. She began absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth into her body. At Dangshan Plaza, rows of crowded stalls and bustling crowds were spread throughout the square. This was a trading market organized by the disciples themselves, used for exchanging various cultivation resources. Lu Zhuan descended slowly from midair, looking at the golden talisman paper in his hand. He let out a somewhat helpless sigh. He had only just obtained this He-grade profound tier talisman recently, and hadn't even had time to appreciate it. Now he already had to sell it for money. This Vajra Arrow talisman's power was equivalent to a full-force strike from a late-stage golden core cultivator, and its quality was excellent, so it would definitely sell for a good price. Soon, he would head out to slay the great demon. With Ling Xiao around, there was no need to worry about offensive power, but supplies were still extremely important. He needed to exchange for some pills to restore spiritual power just in case of emergencies. Senior brother, what are you doing here alone? Suddenly, a clear and ethereal voice rang out beside his ear. Lu Zhuan looked toward the direction the voice came from. He saw Lu Mengyao smiling brightly at him. Junior sister, why are you here? Lu Zhuan asked in confusion. For some reason, this little junior sister of his, he always managed to find him whenever he was alone. I was bored staying in the peak. Meditating and cultivating all day is really too dull, so I thought I'd come out for a walk. After thinking it over, this place is the liveliest after all. Senior brother, did you come here because there's something you want? Liu Mengyao placed both hands behind her back, slightly tilted her head, and explained with a smile. Yeah, to preserve Ningyan's cultivation resources, I have to complete the Sect mission for her. I'll be leaving in a few days, so I plan to trade this talisman for some pills. He waved the talisman in his hand. Lu Zhuan scratched his head somewhat embarrassedly. I see. Then why not sell the talisman to me, senior brother? I can give you a discounted price on the pills. These are some 4th-grade giant spirit pills and blood recovery pills. As she spoke, Lu Mengyao took out several white porcelain bottles from the storage artifact on her wrist. This is only a high-grade profound tier talisman. Junior sister, are you sure? Lu Zhuan's eyes lit up at the sight. The talisman in his hand could at most exchange for half of those pills. This wasn't just an ordinary discount. It was practically giving them away. Of course, I refined them casually anyway. They're not worth much. If senior brother needs them, I can give them all to you cheaply. But I do have one condition. What condition? Lu Zhuan subconsciously frowned. His junior sister always liked speaking only halfway. Senior brother, for this mission, do you have a companion? If you do, who is that person? I need to understand clearly. What if the other party harbors malicious intentions? Lu Mengyao looked at Lu Zhuan with concern in her eyes. Her gaze, full of worry, it made one's heart soften just looking at her. Even Lu Zhuan found it hard to resist. The frown on his face immediately relaxed, and he softly said, Junior sister, don't worry. This time your senior brother invited an impressive person. You know Ling Xiao, the chief disciple of Misty Peak, right? Her heaven-slaying sword art is truly formidable. Her reputation within the sect is well recognized. With her accompanying me, this mission couldn't be safer. Oh, so it's senior sister Ling Xiao. Upon hearing that, Liu Mengyao's eyes instantly became hollow. So senior brother was talking with Ling Xiao at the martial stage earlier. Why would a true disciple at the nascent soul stage help a golden core disciple complete a mission? There was definitely something wrong here. That Ling Xiao definitely had bad intentions. Junior sister, what's wrong with you? Lu Zhuan looked at the somewhat absent-minded Liu Mengyao and couldn't help softly calling her twice. Sorry, senior brother. Sometimes I space out when I'm thinking about things. Don't mind it. After regaining her senses, Liu Mengyao stuck out her tongue, and the emptiness in her eyes quickly disappeared. Her pupils regained focus. That frightening look just now felt like a non-existent illusion. It's my first time knowing you have this habit, junior sister. For some reason, Lu Zhuan suddenly felt a chill run down his spine earlier. Clearly his junior sister looked innocent and adorable, so why had he instinctively felt fear? Senior brother, I advise you to stay wary of senior sister Ling Xiao. Many times, you can know a face, but not a heart. You can't fully trust outside opinions. Earlier, she only lent you a few thousand spirit stones, yet she was already urging you to repay her. Liu Mengyao reminded Lu Zhuan, her words full of vigilance toward Ling Xiao. What you said makes sense, Junior sister. I don't have a better choice. This mission is too difficult. It requires a nascent soul, true disciple. Of course, Lu Zhuan understood Ling Xiao's feelings toward him. Choosing her was truly out of helplessness. Senor brother, what exactly are you going to do? If it's too difficult, can't you just give up? Hearing this, Liu Mengyao became even more worried. A mission that required a nascent soul, true disciple, to participate in order to complete. Its difficulty was obvious. No, if we lose next year's resources, things will become even harder afterward. Lu Zhuang shook his head, his expression extremely resolute. This trip was something he absolutely had to make. It was rare for Ling Xiao to ask for no reward at all. After completing the mission, he could also obtain the system's rewards and corruption points. Senor brother, you really don't need to go this far. Everyone can see how much you've sacrificed. If it truly comes down to it, just give up. No one will blame you. Nanyang would feel the same. She definitely wouldn't want you facing danger. Seeing how deeply devoted Lu Zhuan was, although Lu Mengyao inwardly hated Shai to an extreme degree, on the surface, she still looked full of concern. It's not as bad as you think, junior sister. It's just one mission. And besides, I'm a grown man, I won't just let others bully me. But knowing you care about me this much, your senior brother is really happy. After thinking it over, Lu Zhuan realized there was no need to worry too much. After all, he still had his master backing him. Even if Ling Xiao truly had ulterior motives, she would have to carefully weigh the consequences of forcing things. No, senior brother, take me to meet her. I need to talk with her. Senior brother, you're too trusting. You always treat people sincerely. It's easy for bad women to deceive you. Liu Mengyao rolled her eyes slightly, lightly biting her lip, unable to feel at ease. She felt it necessary to meet the chief disciple Ling Xiao herself. No matter who it was, no one could covet her senior brother. No, you little girl, you just broke through the golden core, and you already want to protect me. Isn't that thinking a bit too much? Lu Zhuan couldn't help raising his hand to pat Lu Mengao's head, with that slightly childish face of hers. She still looked like she was worrying herself sick over him. It was honestly rather adorable. Senior brother, I'm being serious. Don't treat it like a joke. Liu Mengyao puffed up her cheeks slightly. She looked a little annoyed as she tugged at his sleeve. Alright, I'll take you there then. But don't start any arguments with her. Senior sister, Ling Xiao, is voluntarily helping me. Regarding Liu Mengao's actions, Lu Zhuan did not suspect much. He had always treated the girl before him like a younger sister. And according to the previous system missions, judging from the corruption values given, hers was also the lowest. Therefore, Lu Zhuan was least guarded against her. Don't worry, senior brother, I know my limits. I just want to give her a reminder, just in case. After all, many female disciples in the sect are eyeing you. Feeling Lu Zhuan's warm hand resting on her head, Liu Mengyao narrowed her eyes slightly. Even her voice became somewhat soft and sweet. Meanwhile, at Misty Peak, amid the swirling clouds and mist, Ling Xiao stood atop the mountain, holding a long sword. She frowned thoughtfully. I need to understand his preferences first, and start from his weaknesses, slowly making him fall for me bit by bit. Is that how it works? Recalling what her elder sister had said earlier, Ling Xiao felt it made sense. Although it wasn't very profound, it helped organize her thoughts. The type junior brother likes. Is it someone cold and distant like Shaya Ningyan? Ling Xiao stiffened her face, drawing her sword and using its gleaming blade to reflect her own expression. He doesn't feel like my style. Acting so cold in front of him isn't right. Because of that, Ling Xiao suddenly realized that she had been too impatient before, which was why she scared junior brother away. She should use this mission opportunity to show proper restraint instead. She needed Lu Zhuan to feel that she had changed. After he gradually lowered his guard, she could display her charm and slowly captivate him. Just as Ling Xiao was thinking about what actions to take next, a streak of light flew over from the distant sky as it was about to crash into the towering misty peak. It gradually slowed down, landing in front of her. After seeing who had arrived clearly, Ling Xiao was momentarily delighted. The joy in her voice was obvious. However, when she saw Lu Mengyao behind Lu Zhuan, holding onto his waist, Her eyes instantly turned cold, but she quickly returned to normal. Then she forced a smile onto her face and probed cautiously. Junior brother, who is the person behind you? Won't you introduce her? Sorry for the sudden visit. Please forgive us, Senior Sister. We came this time mainly because my junior sister insisted on coming to broaden her horizons at Misty Peak. And also to ask Senior Sister what supplies we should bring for this trip. Putting away the azure cloud sword, Lu Zhuan first bowed respectfully, then signaled with his eyes. For his junior sister behind him, Liu Mengyao of Changchun Peak greets the chief disciple. Although very unwilling, Liu Mengyao still respectfully bowed to her. Her face carried a lively smile, revealing nothing of her true thoughts. Junior brother, you are always so kind-hearted. You help others whenever they ask, even if they aren't from your branch. The cultivation world is full of deceit and schemes. People as warm-hearted as you are rare. Back then, I was the same. If not for junior brother encouraging me and helping me at a critical moment, there would never have been a future chief disciple. Ling Xiao directly ignored Liu Mengao's introduction and walked straight toward Lu Zhuan. Senior sister, you still remember that incident? I only helped you within my ability, that's all. Hearing that, Lu Zhuan was somewhat surprised. Back then, he had merely acted with the mindset of a typical transmigrator, investing in anyone who looked like a possible protagonist, in hopes of building goodwill. The first person he found was Ling Xiao, mainly because her head of white hair was too eek. At that time, Ling Xiao was still just an ordinary outer disciple. During the promotion trial, someone sabotaged her, destroying her magical artifact. Her progress was badly hindered, with an investor's mentality. Lu Zhuan sincerely encouraged her with a few words, and provided some pills and a sum of spirit stones. He never expected things to develop this far. Junior brother, to you it may have only been a small favor. But to me at that time, it was incredibly important. Back then, I had been framed by others and was seriously injured. As an outer disciple, I had neither savings nor connections. Even healing my injuries was already difficult, let alone buying another weapon. As Ling Xiao spoke, immersed in her memories, a trace of infatuation appeared in her eyes. In my moment of crisis, that handsome and refined junior brother who expected nothing in return showed me kindness. It was like moonlight in the darkness, guiding my path forward all this time. Later, after Ling Xiao became stronger and entered the inner sect, when she was preparing to pursue Lu Zhuan, she learned that he and Shai and Ning had become Dao Companions. To her, it was like a bolt from the blue. The person she regarded as her greatest rival among their generation had actually obtained the man she longed for day and night. It was an enormous humiliation. Senior Sister Ling Xiao, forgive me for speaking bluntly, but it sounds like you harbor unusual feelings for senior brother. Listening to Ling Xiao's words, alarm bells rang loudly in Liu Mengao's heart. She hadn't expected the other party to be so unreserved. She was practically just short of openly pursuing Lu Zhuan. That's right, I do like junior brother Liu. At this moment, Ling Xiao finally looked directly at Liu Mengyao. Without the slightest hesitation, she openly admitted the true feelings in her heart. But I will respect junior brother Liu's wishes. I would never force him. I'm not asking for any payment for this mission either. Consider it my apology for my previous recklessness. I hope junior brother can forgive me. After speaking, Ling Xiao walked toward Lu Zhuan. A trace of apology appeared in her eyes. Senior sister, you really don't take it so seriously. You helped me so much. There's no need to dwell on what happened before, being confessed to so directly, and by a silver-haired beauty at that. Even Lu Zhuan felt somewhat flustered for a moment. After all, he had never received this kind of treatment in his previous life. Liu Mengyao was the first to react. She narrowed her eyes at Ling Xiao. Her fists clenched tightly. Senior Sister Ling Xiao, senior brother already has a Dao Companion. I advise you to restrain yourself a little. HMPH, what does what happened between him and me have to do with you? You're not even fellow disciples. You, a disciple of Changchun Peak, actually dare to lecture me here on Misty Peak. Ling Xiao let out a cold laugh, her tone full of contempt. From the moment she first saw Liu Mengyao, she knew this innocent-looking little girl was definitely not as simple as she appeared. I also know Senior Sister Ning Yan, preventing women with ulterior motives from approaching senior brother. What's wrong with that? Liu Mengyao glanced at the bewildered Lu Zhuan, then took the initiative to step forward and confront Ling Xiao. Right now, she still needed the identity of junior sister to continue getting close to the unsuspecting Lu Zhuan. She couldn't openly reveal her feelings like Ling Xiao did. I can't be bothered arguing with you, junior brother. What do you think? If you dislike me, just say it directly. Suddenly, Ling Xiao turned to look at Lu Zhuan, throwing the question to him. Senior brother, are you still going to complete the mission with her? Does Senior Sister Mengyao know about this? Mengyao also looked toward Lu Zhuan. A trace of pressure entered her usually ethereal voice. Lu Zhuan didn't know how to answer. How had the conflict suddenly shifted onto him? He couldn't reject Ling Xiao outright, since he still needed her help to slay the great demon later. What if she got upset and quit halfway? The next year's allowance would be gone. And if he upset his junior sister? Not only would he lose his adorable junior sister, where else would he find such cheap and useful pills? Where could he possibly find them again? So Lu Zhuan now felt like his head was splitting in two. Offending either side was a bad choice. Acknowledged that he didn't dislike Ling Xiao, but that for now, he only saw her as a friend. Reward, one-time, magical artifact, nice guy Dao Companion corruption value plus 500. Nice guy card. Can block any attack below the nascent soul realm once. Senior Sister, I've always admired your character and conduct. There's no way I would dislike you, but there can never be anything between us. If possible, I hope we can remain very good friends. Lu Zhuan hadn't expected the system to directly point out the solution for him, and even give him such an overpowered protective item. A nice guy card, capable of blocking any strike below the divine transformation. Although it was only single, it would still be enough to save his life in a critical moment. Phew, that's fine, as long as junior brother doesn't dislike me. Although Ling Xiao's eyes dimmed slightly, their sharpness quickly returned. No rush. She had plenty of time to take things slowly. That woman, Xiaoning Yan, was basically useless now. After the competition ended, even her allowance would be cut off. At that point, Lu Zhuan alone wouldn't be able to endure for long. She only needed to occasionally show concern and care, and sooner or later she would win both his body and heart. When that time came, the one suffering would be Xiaoning Yan, a crippled nobody, forced to watch helplessly as the man she deeply loved threw himself into Ling Xiao's arms. Senior brother, I want to speak with Senior Sister Ling Xiao alone for a while. You should head back first. These are the pills for you. As for the talisman, Senior brother, you should keep it yourself. If something dangerous happens, you'll at least have a means of protection. As she spoke, Mengyao stuffed all the porcelain bottles in her hands directly into Lu Zhuan's arms. Junior sister, I really can't accept this without guilt. No matter what, you have to take this talisman. Lu Zhuan still had his pride. Taking so many things from a junior sister for free, he simply couldn't do it. Senior brother, it's really nothing much. If you truly want to compensate me, then wait until after you return from the mission. Your safety is more important than anything else. Saying that, Lu Zhuan absolutely refused to take her things for free. Mengyao felt somewhat helpless. She could only come up with an excuse to make him accept them first. But this was also exactly what she liked about him. Lu Zhuan's kindness toward her wasn't mixed with excessive self-interest. He never took her things for free, unlike the people around her, who always tried their best to squeeze as much benefit from her as possible. Those ugly faces were utterly disgusting. Junior brother, you should go first. Since she wants to talk to me, I'll talk with her for a while. Don't worry, I won't do anything to her. Ling Xiao narrowed her eyes at Mengyao. She wanted to see what this little girl, who had just entered the golden core, planned to say. Trying to steal her man, she should first weigh whether she was worthy. Alright then. Sensing that the atmosphere was off, Lu Zhuan hesitated briefly, before summoning the King Yun sword, and taking his leave. The moment he left, the two women stopped hiding their true feelings altogether. The friendliness vanished from their expressions. I advise you to stop daydreaming. Senior brother belongs to me. Mengyao spoke first, directly declaring ownership over Lu Zhuan. Humph, which one of us is really the delusional one here? A mere golden core brat actually dares challenge a nascent soul expert. What makes you think you have the right to speak to me like that? Ling Xiao let out a cold laugh. A faint pressure spread from her body. Whether it's wishful thinking or not, is not for you to decide. Right now, your cultivation realm is higher, but that doesn't mean you've won. If we're talking about resources, my wealth is at least 10 times yours. Mengyao refused to back down. Even under the pressure of a nascent soul cultivator, she showed no sign of panic. You're just an inner disciple of Chengchun Peak. How much savings could you possibly have? Ling Xiao raised the corner of her lips mockingly. A mere unknown golden core cultivator actually dared compare wealth with her. What a joke. I belong to the alchemist branch of Trong. Don't compare me with people like you. Just one furnace of pills I refine casually can earn me 5 times the cost of materials. Liu Mengyao crossed her arms. A trace of pride flashed in her eyes. She had originally come here for training, even without considering her family background. With her masterful alchemy skills, earning thousands of spirit stones was effortless. If not for her current golden core cultivation, which limited the intensity of flame she could control, she would only be able to refine 4th grade pills at most. Otherwise, her money-making speed would be even faster. Once she could refine 5th grade pills, a single batch of pills could easily earn tens of thousands of spirit stones. In the cultivation world, alchemists were extremely popular. Major factions all fought over them. Who wouldn't like a stable money printing machine? Earlier, senior brother only borrowed a few thousand spirit stones from you. Looks to me like you're just pretending to be richer than you are. If you're short on money, you can ask me anytime. I'll lend you however much you want, interest-free. Liu Mengyao gave Ling Xiao no face at all. Facing a cultivator, a whole major realm above her, there wasn't the slightest trace of fear on her face. Made Ling Xiao somewhat suspicious. In the cultivation world, anyone with a normal brain, no matter how resentful they were to a higher-level cultivator like this, before gaining the strength to oppose them, people would always remain polite on the surface. Liu Mengyao's arrogant attitude meant one of two things. Either she was stupid, or she had powerful backing and nothing to fear. Humph, you haven't rested long. Yet your mouth is already quite bold. Someone as rude, spoiled, and unreasonable as you is worthy of junior brother. Ling Xiao stepped forward. The sword at her waist hummed, ready to strike at any moment. Sword intent gathered behind her, forming an invisible pressure. She didn't care what background the girl had. Anyone daring to steal her man had to be prepared to pay the price. That's still better than a stingy woman like you. You only lent senior brother a few thousand spirit stones, and now you think you can do whatever you want. Liu Mengyao looked at Ling Xiao mockingly. She recalled the sight of Lu Zhuan earlier, running out of Ling Xiao's residence in a hurry. At that time, Ling Xiao must have been taking advantage of senior brother's inability to force him into repay the debt. Such despicable methods were truly disgusting. Humph, getting angry with a junior like you isn't worth it. After hearing her words, Ling Xiao's aura suddenly surged, then quickly calmed down again. Her expression returned to normal, and the sword at her waist stopped humming. You should leave. I can't be bothered talking to you anymore. Anyone can win with words alone. If you want to steal someone away, real ability is what matters. Soon, junior brother Lu and I will spend more than half a month traveling together alone. As for you, just stay obediently in the sect, and overthink things by yourself. Oh, right. You'd better pray I don't develop any improper thoughts halfway through the trip. Otherwise, by the time we return, he'll already belong to me completely. Ling Xiao curled her lips into an evil smile as she spoke. Then, she completely ignored Liu Mengyao and turned to leave. Only Liu Mengyao remained behind, furious. That bitch. Just because she's a nascent soul cultivator, she acts completely without restraint. Liu Mengyao muttered to herself. Her eyes became hollow, and her pupils gradually lost focus. Then, a black poisonous scorpion appeared in her palm. It was the life-bound, Jiu creature she had raised for many years. Poison. Even cultivators, a whole major realm above her, would either die or be crippled if struck by it. No, senior brother still needs her right now. Besides, doing this would be far too obvious. It would be easy to trace it back to me. And if senior brother found out, he would definitely become afraid of me. That absolutely cannot happen. Reason finally pulled Liu Mengyao back. She withdrew the Jiu creature and looked at Ling Xiao's departing figure. For the time being, she suppressed those dark thoughts. Meanwhile, after descending the mountain, Lu Zhuan didn't wander around. Instead, he waited directly at the foot of the mountain. He was worried something might happen between the two women, so he simply stayed there waiting. If anything happened, he could rush over to stop them in time. Looking at it this way, little junior sister probably has some feelings for me too. Anyone who can trigger system missions and generate corruption points probably harbors unhealthy thoughts toward me. Lu Zhuan wandered around the mountain foot while silently pondering these thoughts. Isn't this junior brother Liu? What a coincidence. What brings you to our misty peak today? Suddenly, two graceful women in white descended from the sky on flying swords. They landed beside Lu Zhuan. Greetings, Senior Sisters. I just came down from the peak. After discussing some matters with Senior Sister Ling Xiao, Lu Xuan politely bowed to them with proper etiquette. I see. Then how about coming to play with your Senior Sisters for a while? The Sect snack market has finally reopened recently. Why don't you come have some fun with us, JR? Brother. Don't worry, your sisters won't make you pay. We'll cover all the snack expenses. As they spoke, both women revealed mischievous smiles. They slowly approached Lu Xuan with ill intentions. The faint elegant fragrance from their bodies drifted into his nose. Recently, Lu Xuan had become extremely famous within the sect. After the once heavenly prodigy, Xianing Yan, lost her cultivation, he became the center of heated discussion. And with his handsome appearance and unwavering loyalty to his Dao Companion, he naturally attracted even more attention. Senior Sisters, I still have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. As he spoke, Lu Xuan tried to move past the two women, clearly intending to flee. Don't go, Junior Brother Liu. What's wrong with playing with your sisters for a bit? Anyway, your Dao Companion can't control you anymore. If you fool around a little, what can she even say? One of them grabbed Lu Xuan's arm, her fair hand, then slid across his chest. Her slender fingers lightly traced over him, sending a tingling sensation through his body. Exactly. What's wrong with having some fun with us? Countless people wish for this kind of treatment. The other woman directly raised her hand and lifted Lu Xuan's chin. She licked her lips slightly, her eyes shining with burning desire. Being toyed with by unfamiliar Senior Sisters, blackening value plus 1000. Seeing the system notification pop up, Lu Xuan suddenly exerted force and broke free, pulling away from the two women. Junior Brother Liu, you're refusing a toast only to drink a forfeit. Your Senior Sisters invited you out of kindness. If you insist on refusing, you better think about the consequences. You no longer have Xianing Yan protecting you anymore. As they spoke, the two women stopped hiding their intentions. Lewd smiles appeared on both their faces. Not only was Lu Xuan's body an excellent cultivation furnace, he was also incredibly handsome. If they didn't dual cultivate with him, then what were they waiting for? Why aren't you two cultivating properly? What are you wandering around the peak for? A cold voice suddenly rang out. The white-haired Ling Xiao appeared. She coldly stared at the two women harassing Lu Xuan. The pressure from her body spread out without restraint. The two women were immediately forced to bend over. They hurriedly explained themselves to Ling Xiao. Greetings, Chief Disciple. We merely saw Junior Brother Liu alone here and wanted to chat with him. If we disturbed your matters, we'll leave immediately. You already know you're in the way, so why aren't you scramming yet? Do you want me to send you off personally? Ling Xiao was truly furious, even though they were fellow disciples. She showed them no mercy. We'll leave right away. The two women spoke at the same time, without the slightest hesitation. They immediately flew away on their swords. Only Ling Xiao and Lu Xuan remained behind. Junior Brother, you really can't stay alone like this anymore. It's too dangerous. If I hadn't arrived just now, who knows what those two might have done to you. Ling Xiao looked at Lu Xuan with concern. Her eyes continuously scanned his body. Only after seeing nothing unusual did she finally relax. So I'm already this famous. Inside the sect now? I didn't recognize those two at all. Yet they recognized me instantly. Recalling what just happened, Lu Xuan felt extremely depressed. He had nearly been forced on. His Dao Companion had only lost her cultivation recently, yet he was already being targeted by strangers. If Xianing Yan's cultivation couldn't recover soon, then his future days were easy to imagine. However, if he wanted his Dao Companion to recover quickly, he needed to constantly engage in intimate interactions to rapidly obtain rewards and blackening value through the system. It really feels like I've entered a dead end. Junior Brother, you really lack awareness. You have no idea how many people covet your body. But don't worry. After I return, I'll properly discipline them. As for what happened just now, at the very least, such things will never happen among the disciples of Misty Peak. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. Her voice carried a trace of killing intent. Those two women, earlier, had always acted respectful toward her publicly, yet secretly dared to touch what belonged to her. They needed to be taught a lesson, so they would remember clearly who the true chief of Misty Peak was. But, Junior Brother, I'm serious. Xianing Yan's cultivation is crippled. She can no longer protect you, unless someone becomes your new Dao Companion. What happened today will keep happening. You'll never have peace Whenever she had the chance, Ling Xiao would persuade Lu Zhuan to give up on Sha Yanning. After experiencing the earlier incident, she had become somewhat anxious. If she acted too late, Lu Zhuan might be snatched away by someone else first. As long as Ning Yang hasn't given up on herself, I won't abandon her either. Hearing this, Lu Zhuan couldn't help but take a step back. He feared that after witnessing the earlier scene, Ling Xiao had been stimulated and was about to force herself on him directly. Junior brother, don't be afraid. I won't force you. If I truly wanted to, then back when you came to my residence to discuss the loan, I wouldn't have let you leave. After seeing Lu Zhuan's reaction, Ling Xiao forcefully suppressed the desire in her heart, and the Zhudong stepped back to create some distance. What Senior Sister said just now was only to remind you, Junior brother, if one day you can't hold on anymore or run into difficulties, you can come find me anytime. Just like with this mission. As she spoke, Ling Xiao raised her arm and opened her palm toward Lu Zhuan. Senior Sister, you're a good person. If I had met you before Ningyan, perhaps the outcome would have been different. After a brief hesitation, Lu Zhuan stepped forward and took Ling Xiao's hand. Her hand was pale and soft, yet her palm was covered with thick calluses, showing just how hard she trained normally. It doesn't matter who came first, that's normal. She simply had the advantage of proximity and got there before me. I accept that. But since Xianyan herself ran into problems and failed to hold on to you, Junior brother, thus giving me a chance, then I absolutely won't let it slip away. Ling Xiao's words were extremely direct. She stared at Lu Zhuan with burning eyes, as though she had locked onto her prey, and was determined never to let go. Senior Sister, I understand what you mean. But could you let go of my hand first? Lu Zhuan felt uneasy under her gaze, and couldn't help swallowing nervously. He had a feeling this journey would end badly for him. Sorry, I got a little too excited. I hope you won't mind, Junior brother. Only then did Ling Xiao realize that she had been tightly holding Lu Zhuan's hand the whole time, so she quickly let go. By the way, Senior Sister, before we depart for the mission, my master heard that this mission would be rather difficult, and wants to meet the person accompanying me. Senior Sister, there shouldn't be any problem with that, right? Lu Zhuan felt that it was necessary to bring his master into this, so Fan Kean Yu could warn Ling Xiao a little. Your master? Of course, there's no problem. Ling Xiao was somewhat surprised, but quickly agreed. If she was going to become Dao Companions with Lu Zhuan in the future, then naturally, receiving his master's blessing and approval would be the best outcome. By the way, Senior Sister, where's Mengyao? Why did only you come down? Suddenly, Lu Zhuan remembered why he had stayed behind here. Now that Lu Mengyao was nowhere to be seen, he thought something might really have happened. She's still on the peak. After exchanging a few words, we realized we couldn't get along, and I left first. Junior brother, you don't think I did something to her, do you? Ling Xiao chuckled softly, then narrowed her eyes, and spoke seriously to Lu Zhuan. That little junior sister of yours isn't as simple as she looks on the surface. I advise you to stay on guard against her. Although her cultivation is lower than yours, and she looks innocent and adorable, her inner thoughts are actually quite dark. Senior Sister, aren't you overreacting a little? Mengyao has only been cultivating for a short time. She's inexperienced in the world. How could she have such scheming thoughts? As for Ling Xiao's words, Lu Zhuan didn't buy them at all. He merely assumed that she didn't want him getting too close to other women. Still, being more cautious wouldn't hurt anyway. Seeing that Lu Zhuan didn't believe her, Ling Xiao said nothing further. Then let's meet again when we depart the day after tomorrow. Senior Sister, I still need to bring Mengyao down from the peak. She just broke through to the Golden Core realm, so she still isn't skilled at flying, and she might run into trouble. After speaking, Lu Zhuan summoned the King Yun sword and soared upward with the wind, quickly turning into a tiny streak of light. As Ling Xiao watched his departing figure, she raised her hand high, opened it, and slowly clenched it again, as though she wanted to firmly grasp him in her palm. Junior brother, I once tried to persuade myself to give up my fantasies about you, but fate has given you another chance. This time, no matter what, I won't let you escape again. At the summit of Misty Peak. Junior Sister, nothing happened to you, right? After flying back up, Lu Zhuan looked at Liu Mengyao sitting beneath a tree in a light robe. And I to worry, Li. No, senior brother, you're overthinking it. She's just a chief disciple. Would she really stoop so low as to bully a weak little cultivator like me? The moment she saw Liu Mengyao quickly adjusted her expression and returned to her usual lively appearance. By the way, senior brother, did you come to take me back? Yeah, You just broke through, so you still don't know how to fly properly. What if something happened? Besides, Misty Peak is the tallest mountain in the sect. If I didn't come back for you, and you tried going down alone, what if something happened? After all, I was the one who brought you up here. Lu Zhuan spoke seriously. If anything happened to Liu Mengyao, he would never forgive himself. Senior brother, you're always thinking of me like this. If only you weren't also so gentle to other people. After hearing that, Lu Mengyao slightly tilted her head. A radiant smile blooming across her face. The howling wind sounded beside their ears. The strong wind brushed against her face, and Liu Mengyao narrowed her eyes, feeling an overwhelming sense of joy. The anger and jealousy stirred up earlier by Ling Xiao had completely vanished. At this moment, Lu Zhuan was carrying her as they flew through the sky. Lu Mengyao wrapped her arms around Lu Zhuan's waist, the corners of her lips curling upward slightly. Sure enough, compared to that Ling Xiao, senior brother still cared more about her. Junior sister, if you don't have anything else to do, I'll send you directly back to Changchun Peak. Lu Zhuan suddenly spoke up. Then, senior brother, would you like to stop by my place for a while? Senior brother takes care of me so much every day. Let me properly treat you once in a while too. Liu Mengyao's eyes immediately lit up slightly when she heard that. This was exactly what she had hoped for. Honestly, it's rather embarrassing to say, but you've actually helped me far more, junior sister. If not for the medicinal pills you gave me, life on my side would have been even harder. Once things stabilize later on, I'll definitely find a way to repay you. Having been supported by others again and again, Lu Zhuan truly felt ashamed. Ever since transmigrating here, it was rare for him to have someone like in novels, a cute junior sister constantly calling him senior brother. Yet not only was he poor himself, he kept receiving gifts from her. If this kept going, that glorious and dependable image he held in his own mind would collapse, sooner or later. Just imagining Liu Mengyao's current admiration for him, eventually turning into disdain for this useless senior brother of hers, made Lu Zhuan feel miserable. Oh, right, I almost forgot about this thing. This is a low-grade, supportive spirit artifact, and it also has some storage capabilities. Patting his forehead, Lu Zhuan took out the green gourd the system had given him earlier. He directly handed it to Liu Mengyao behind him. If you don't have any use for it, junior sister, you can sell it as well. This type of spirit artifact is quite easy to sell. Trading it for a few thousand spirit stones wouldn't be a problem. Something given by a senior brother. How could I casually sell it for money? Wouldn't that completely betray your good intentions? I'll treasure this gourd properly. After Liu Mengyao accepted it, her eyes curved into happy crescents. Senior brother, do you still remember when the two of us first met? Of course I remember. At that time, Mengyao, you were only a foundation establishment disciple. You had just entered the sect, and didn't understand anything yet. When I went to Changchun Peak to seek medicine, you even mistook me for a servant responsible for cleaning. Thinking back on the past, Lu Zhuan couldn't help but smile knowingly. Back then, really was wonderful. Shaya Ningyan hadn't lost her cultivation yet. He spent his days lovingly with Senior Sister Ling Xiao was merely a respected and admired senior. As for his master, she was simply a goal he needed to catch up to, and a beloved elder. However, everything changed because Shaya Ningyan lost her cultivation, and because the corruption system appeared. Lu Zhuan felt somewhat afraid. The rewards obtained through completing system missions came far too easily. Once he became completely accustomed to it, he might never be able to go back. At that point, even if Shaya Ningyan recovered her cultivation and no longer needed him to provide resources, after experiencing the system's benefits, it would be nearly impossible for Lu Zhuan to adapt to normal cultivation speed again. Spending over 10 years in bitter cultivation just to break through over 100 years for one major realm. And that was under the condition of never encountering bottlenecks. At that time, I had just arrived, and arrogantly mistook senior brother for his servant. Yet senior brother didn't explain himself. You merely silently guided me around Doyan Sect. Only later did I learn that you were an inner disciple of Feiyu Peak. Only then did I realize how rude I had been before. Thankfully, senior brother didn't hold a grudge against me because of it. Lu Mengyao's voice pulled Lu Zhen's thoughts back to reality once more. Hearing this, he couldn't help but chuckle softly. Their first meeting really had been rather dramatic. Haha, after all, you're such an adorable junior sister. How could I possibly dislike you? Senior brother, you're just too gentle. Though, that's a good thing. It also easily attracts other people's attention and desire after hearing his praise. Liu Mengyao's pretty face flushed red. Looking back now, even she didn't know exactly when she had fallen for Lu Zhan. Back then, under her family's arrangements, she came from the Yaji Holy Land to Doyan Sect for training. The upper management within the sect had long been informed beforehand, from the elders of Changshan Peak down to fellow disciples. Every single one of them treated her with excessive politeness. Whenever they had the chance, they would flatter her. On the surface, they seemed enthusiastic, claiming they wanted nothing in return. But in reality, each of them had ulterior motives. Once she accepted their help, they would later find excuses demanding repayment from her. Such hypocrisy disgusted her. That was until she met Lu Zhuan later on. Not only did he not mind her misunderstanding, he also took great care of her, treating her only as an ordinary junior. It wasn't until a long time after they met that Liu Mengyao finally told Lu Zhuan she came from the Yaoqi Holy Land. "Junior sister, we've arrived," while she was lost in thought. Lu Zhuan had already brought her back to Changshan Peak, slowly descending from the sky. "It's been a while since I came here. As expected of the wealthiest peak in the sect, not only is the mountain filled with spiritual plants and medicinal herbs, there are even formations specially arranged to gather spiritual energy." The moment he entered, he could clearly feel that the density of spiritual energy was much higher than outside. Looking around, the lush trees swayed gently in the wind, releasing waves of refreshing fragrance. Lu Zhuan closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He felt as though even the surrounding air was sweet. This wasn't an exaggeration, but genuinely true. A captivating medicinal fragrance lingered around his nose. Staying in this place, even if one did absolutely nothing, their cultivation would probably increase automatically. "Senior brother, if you're free, you can come here often. The spiritual energy here is abundant and the scenery is beautiful. It's perfect for cultivation and recuperation." As she spoke, Liu Mengyao grabbed Lu Zhan's hand and proactively led him toward her residence. "A few months ago, after I broke through to the Golden Core realm, the elders within the peak voluntarily suggested changing me to a new residence. It's a little too large, and living there alone feels rather lonely. Senior brother, if you have free time, you can come visit more often. Junior sister, your place is a little too luxurious, isn't it?" After following Liu Mengyao to her courtyard, Lu Zhuan was immediately shocked by the sight before him. It was practically just like the classical gardens he had visited in scenic tourist areas in his previous life. The first thing he saw was a huge pond spanning over 1,000 square meters in the crystal clear spring water. Many colorful spirit fish swam freely about, looking extremely lively. An arched bridge stretched across the water, and beyond the bridge lay an enormous garden. Several exquisite stone statues and carefully tended spirit plants were neatly arranged all around, leaving one dazzled by the scenery. Not to mention the various magnificent pavilions and the delicate little gazebos scattered everywhere. "Since you rarely come here, let me properly show you around, senior brother." Seeing Lu Zhan's astonishment, Liu Mengyao was quite satisfied. Although this courtyard couldn't compare to her residence in the Holy Land, as long as it achieved the desired effect, that was enough. Compared to being forced to squeeze together inside that shabby wooden hut on the outskirts of the sect, living with her in a grand courtyard like this on Changshan Peak was clearly the better choice. "Senior brother, I have an idea. Later on, you and senior sister would you like to move in here with me? There are plenty of rooms anyway. When the time comes, you can pick whichever room you like, senior brother." As they continued strolling around, Lu Mengyao suddenly made a bold suggestion to Lu Zhan. She appeared to ask the question casually, her bright and innocent eyes looking toward Lu Zhuan, completely unlike someone plotting something. "That wouldn't be appropriate, would it? Even if you agree to it, junior sister Cheng?"